Alright, so let's get into the swing of things. We are revising grade 11 exam build up to the exam in June. So we have solved for x squared minus 9 into x minus 1 is equal to 0. Now when we have a bracket with two factors, x squared minus 9 and x minus 1, and it's equated to 0, remember that we can apply what we refer to as the zero factor law. The zero factor law applies whenever we have a product of factors and it's equated to 0, because the zero factor law says if a times b is equal to 0, then we can say a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0. So in this instance, this bracket acts as the a value because it's one term, and this x minus 1 acts as the b. As long as we are equating to 0, we can take this bracket x squared minus 9 equated to 0 or x minus 1 equated to 0, and then we solve these independently. Alright, so that's very important. It's called the zero factor law because it only applies when the product is equal to 0. Then we can write this. But if we have another number besides 0, then we cannot apply the zero factor law. Therefore here we cannot say a is equal to 1 or b is equal to 1. We do not do that. All right, so if this bracket was there and that bracket was there and then there was a number here, we would first have to FOIL the bracket, multiply it out, get 3 terms or 4 terms, and then transpose the constant term, then add the like terms, and then see if we can factorize and get the standard form, and then apply the factorization, and then the zero factor law would follow. Okay, so in this case, x squared minus 9 is equal to 0. We know that this here is a difference of 2 squares factorization that we can apply, because this is a difference because there's a negative sign. X squared and 9 are both perfect squares. A variable is called a perfect square variable if the variable is raised to an even number exponent. Okay, and then 9 obviously is a perfect square number because it is formed by multiplying the 3, which is a natural number, by itself. Okay, so x plus 3 into x minus 3, then apply the zero factor law. X plus 3 is equal to 0 or x minus 3 is equal to 0, which means x is equal to negative 3 or x is equal to 3. That is a solution that we get from x squared minus 9 is equal to 0. Then for x minus 1 is equal to 0, we say x is equal to, we just transpose the negative 1, it's x is equal to 1. So our answers are x is equal to minus 3 or x is equal to 3 or x is equal to 1, and they are all fine and correct. Okay, all right, for 3 marks we've spent 3 minutes and 10 seconds answering this question. Of course, if you were answering it in exams, you'd be expected to at least answer this question in less than 3 minutes, because if it's 3 marks, remember a minute is 1 mark, and so it would be nice if you could answer it less than that, so that you can have enough time opened up for other questions that can be a bit more complex, so that you can devote more time there, and so that at the end, when you finish the paper, you can be able to go back and check your answers. All right.